My name is Nike Onile. I'm a designer, principal of Studio Ode, and this is my home. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo in Etobicoke. At the time, it didn't feel old. It served its purpose and it was nicely decorated, but after 12 years of not doing anything, it was really dated. It needed more than a refresh. And then also being downtown and, my design business has taken off after 12 years. So my aesthetic had changed so dramatically that coming back here required me to do something to it. It's really strange. When it comes to style, I actually hate this question because I don't think I have one, although people tell me I do. They say that I'm minimalist, but I wouldn't say that I'm minimalist completely. I like things that have history, and I like things to be intentional. So although the backdrop might be quite muted, the elements that I put into the room, I like them to have a story in themselves, if that makes sense. My entryway, I still wanted something that introduced you to the dynamics of the space. So in the little alcove, there's this wallpaper that has this cool feature. It's very fluid and feminine, and I think it plays off really nicely with the marble that we have in the kitchen. And then it also, with the door, there's these sort of vertical slats that also introduce you to the amazing floor-to-ceiling doors that we have going on here. Ooh, the kitchen. The kitchen is all about dualities. It's about light and dark. So on the back wall, you have floor to ceiling black. You have black cabinets, no handles. You have this Dekton full height backsplash that looks sort of like a marble finish. You have black appliances. So that entire space kind of recesses and it's really moody and dark. And then popping right off of it, you have the peninsula that is really light. The cabinets as well as the entire back of it is enclosed in Dekton. So you have this dark backdrop and then this like really beautiful white backdrop that kind of pops off of it. It's just beautiful. I just love it. Continuing from the slats that we have going on in the entryway, we have this bulkhead. I hate when you swag lights, when you swag the light. I'm not a fan of swagging lights. So to conceal that, what we've done, I've had my contractor kind of built out a bulkhead that allows you to hang a pendant from the ceiling. But the tones work and it flows and I just love cooking in there. It just feels really good to cook in there. Even though 800 square feet doesn't feel like a small space, I know people downtown are like, what are you talking about? But because I had such height where I was coming from, I needed it to still feel lofty or larger. So I needed a lot of storage that felt integrated. I needed there to feel like there was plants and life in here as well. So I would say those are the two major things, storage and like natural elements. So my living room is a work in progress. I wanted to make sure that I had a nice open space. So I don't have a coffee table. Also because, like I said, I love things to be intentional, so nothing has felt right yet. But I like it because it allows me to kind of sprawl out. I can do my yoga, I can watch movies, I can do all the things. My sofa, although beautiful, is not the most comfortable thing in the world, yeah. So I think that she will be very shortly lived here. One of the things that I love about is the ribbing, and the ribbing really mimics what I have going on with the storage and the ribbing behind the television. This is the Besta system. It is such an incredible system that offers the sleekest storage. It goes all the way to the ceiling like everything else. And the great thing about it is that I was able to kind of create this alcove, which I have also Besta doors lined in the back of it. So those are Besta doors cut down to size so that they look exactly like the panel. And then we have the frame TV hung in front of it. So it kind of looks like it's a custom built-in unit, but it is all Besta and IKEA. So I get a ton of sun here. So I have the sun, the water you'll see in the bedroom later, greenery. So I have those elements in the wood. But then for me, I also wanted fire. So behind me, I have a ventless fireplace. It just uses ethanol gas. So you don't need to have any sort of venting. It's clean burning. And then I just put a mirror behind it so that it creates that sort of dimension. And there we go. We got a little fireplace going on. So the kitchen before actually had a little raised bar, which in the time that I spent there, I've never sat there. It ate into the living room. This space is kind of narrow-ish. So we removed that. And then the dining area was actually the easiest thing to put together. It's a secondhand table that I love. It's, worn and it brings a little bit of warmth into the space, which is really nice. I found this on Facebook Marketplace for $150 and I was able to negotiate down to $120 because that's just how I am. I mean, I think I might, get the shine off a little bit at some point when I feel like I want to have some sort of like a sanding project, but it's stunning and it's 150. Like you cannot go wrong with the cane chairs and the really beautiful bucket light. Yeah, it just feels really fresh there. So I lived through half of the reno. The kitchen and some of the elements were done. The bedroom was where they were doing all the cutting and everything. But once all the cutting and all the dusty things were done, that space just transformed. I needed storage. I wanted to make sure that I had an element of water because I visit the water quite frequently. So I wanted to make it feel like I was sleeping outside underneath a willow tree. I love willow trees. Me and willow trees have we're like this. We're just like tight, So I needed willow trees to be in there. I needed it to feel like I was letting go of the day. And it does exactly that. It feels really fluid in there. There's a lot of curves that are going on in there that makes it really fun. And weirdly, and I'm not sure, I'm not gonna recommend this as a design tip to anybody because, I don't want anyone to come for me, but my room is wide and narrow. So if I was to turn my queen bed with the headboard facing the wall, then it would cut half the room. Those condos where it's really tight and you have to crawl through I wanted space. So I turned my bed on the side. Essentially my headboard is mounted on the side of my bed rather than the head so that it kind of gives it more of this airy sort of feeling to it. I sleep in whichever direction I want. Diagonal, sideways, that sort of thing. I literally however I land on my bed is how I sleep. This is gonna be people are gonna think I'm crazy. This is gonna be such a kooky video. Every area in my home has a little story to it. Like the kitchen, I told you about the bedroom, sleeping outside. The bathroom is about bathing outside in Morocco. It has floor to ceiling, wall to wall, marbled porcelain. It looks like concrete. It's actually a very small bathroom, but because the tile is all the same, there's no interruption. Your eye doesn't stop anywhere. It kind of feels bigger than it is. It's very moody and sexy. I don't know, the whole thing is just like a vibe. We have a floating vanity that is the same color as the porcelain tile. And then we have a gold acrylic sheet that functions as the mirror, but it kind of looks like the faucet is coming out of this gold wall. That is totally what I fell in love with in Morocco. For me, that entire space is just an ode to that way of living. It's very slow, and I needed my bathroom to kind of feel spa-like. I needed it to feel like an escape somewhere that I was not here, which it absolutely does. Lots of bubble baths in that place. It's just amazing. I love it, yeah. So I wanted to make sure that I had a really nice bar in here. I don't drink, but I entertain. So I have this really beautiful alcove that's kind of recessed in. It has this blush black color that continues out with the rest of the theme. It is also the door to my second bedroom. So this room is really exciting for me. It has these floor to ceiling-ish cabinetry and plants everywhere, which is something that was really important to me. I wanted to make sure that I had this beautiful foliage around me. It's also an art room for me, which is nice. I might add a desk in here a little bit later just to have my office going. But all in all, it's just this extra space that just feels creative. It kind of gets my creative juices going. When I did this reno and moving back, it actually wasn't about how it looked. It was for me how it felt. And I really needed a place that felt healing, if that makes sense. I needed somewhere that felt clear of mind and somewhere that allowed me to kind of express myself. Where I was downtown, it felt temporary even though I was there for 4 years. And I really was looking for something that felt rooted in something. So coming here, I needed it to feel like I was coming home.